Hey guys, welcome to another video. This video we're going to talk about where I see the market going in the next few weeks to months. There's a lot of conflicting reports, charts out there. It's just very difficult to try to pin where the market is going. On the one hand, you have talks of inflation, you have more scares on the virus, you have people tax loss harvesting, selling their stocks at the end of the year to write off losses, but then you have the market's been beaten down as of very late, so you could talk about a rally coming in the near future. The beginning of next year, you already have people starting to enter positions because they bought the dip on the people that have tax loss harvested, but there still might be more selling to go. So there's a lot to look at, and I'm going to kind of give my advice. So let's start with the Russell 2000. This is a small cap index. So a lot of the retail stocks that you guys know and love, as well as myself, the Palantirs, the Blink Charging, the Canopy Growth Company, the Tattoo Chef, a lot of these are small caps. And you can see that the overall small cap index has just been kind of trading sideways. There's been waves, obviously. There was a pump here towards October into November, and then we just had a complete sell-off. So if you're just looking at small caps, we're just looking at the index, so obviously individual stocks are going to be different. They're going to have different patterns depending on the fundamentals. But if you just look at this index, you'll see it's been trading sideways. And there's a couple different interesting things here. So number one, the level of support. We're at a level of support almost. It could drop a little bit. But we're pretty much at this range. If we were to let's just draw a line pretty much from the highs and the lows. Right? If you were to draw a line from the highs and the lows, for the most part, we're trading within this range, right? The Bollinger Bands are staying within this range. You have a little bit of a pop over here in the beginning of November, but for the most part, we trade within this range. We're at the bottom of this range. So this is a very interesting point. The MACD looks like it was curling up, and now it dipped a little bit, kind of trying to find a support level here. RSI is pointed downwards, and we're going down. The last few bars here look like they're trending downward, but again, this is all due to tax loss harvesting, people selling out of their positions. You got to think, a lot of people, if we're at the very bottom of this range, that means that we're at the lowest of the year. So people are taking their losses. If you bought up here at the top of the trend line, then you're down. So depending on how much you have into it and what your taxes are, this is the point at where you're going to sell it. So I'd say let's watch this in the next couple of days. I personally am not buying anything today just because the market is overall up and there's not any great deals. Stocks aren't 5% lower. A lot of stocks are higher today. So I'm actually just watching the market today. I will not buy anything. So anyway, let's just watch this. But now if you look at the larger indexes, right, the SPY is still up, but it looks like it's kind of consolidating, maybe coming down a little bit. We don't really know where this is going to go towards the end of the year. If you want, we could look at the NASDAQ. It looks very similar. It's pointed down a little bit more, but for the most part, it's consolidating. So there's a lot to kind of unpack with this, but I think that what you need to do is you need to keep an overall idea of where the market is going. Small caps are consolidating to hopefully going back up. Large caps might be coming down a little bit, but with that being said, there are some stocks that I think are interesting or could be interesting, right? Apple, a large cap, following this S&P. Looks like it's trending downwards for a little bit. AbbVie, another stock that I track, is coming down. Then you have AMD, which seems to be consolidating to coming up. Then now the smaller caps, right? So Blink coming back down. Looks like it could be consolidating, but this is a great price, right? I have started a position in Blink just because it's been so expensive recently, but now it's coming back down to more reasonable levels, right? ChargePoint, very similar. This is looking good. Canopy Growth. I have it in one of my accounts, but not a long-term hold. I think that now it's starting to look like a good price. Corsair is popping a little bit on the RSI, but for the most part, it's been a downward trend. That's looking like a decent price. Desktop Metal, a stock that I've talked about on the channel, consolidating. So you're kind of seeing a general, the general chart pattern for these small cap stocks that they're all consolidating. They're not really doing too much, but that's because the whole overall small cap market's been doing that. So the hope is that it pops, but there's no guarantees. So just be careful. One other stock that I wanted to talk about, and I know we're jumping around here a little bit, but Tesla. This is one that I'm really looking at because it has come down. Just to be clear, this is not a small cap stock, but it goes with the conversation of the SPY and the NASDAQ starting to sell off a bit towards the end of the year. So I think Tesla is a great long-term stock to hold. I don't have any at this time, just because it did get so expensive. You could see back here in November, it was way overextended, and it kind of came back down to reality. There is no real level of support. Maybe you could draw one around the 892 area. We go back in February earlier this year, but there is, it gapped up. So it could come back down now to this maybe 850 level. So on the MACD, there still is a lot of momentum towards the downside. The RSI is pointing down. So Tesla is one that I'm very interested in. Tesla. Another one would be in a very similar fashion. NVIDIA, basically the same type of thing, right? It went crazy over this year, and now it's starting to come back down a little bit. And then the last one, same kind of breadth as AMD. Looked at that one. They're all kind of consolidating after having a great year. Like now might be a good time if you believe in the long-term prospects of these companies to buy in. So that's just my opinion. You gotta see how it goes. The old thing is when in doubt, zoom out. So if you are worried, just look at the chart, zoom out. You'll see that there are fluctuations all over. So sometimes no position is a good position. But if you guys got anything out of this video, if you could like and subscribe, be much appreciated. If you have any questions, go down to the comments and ask them, and I will answer them. And I will see you guys on the next.